This is The Sit Down, and I'm here with actor O.T. Fagbenle, star of The Handmaid's Tale on Hulu. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so we are in the middle of season 3 of the show. Things have gotten quite complicated for your character, Luke.
Right.
How do you think he's handling everything?
Well, badly, you know.
Badly.
That's way to deal with the crisis, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a lot on his plate because he's obviously trying to look after this new child in his life who's an innocent in a really complex world, and he's got kind of a complex relationship with it. And so, yeah, trying to navigate how to both take care of his child, but also kind of deal with the complex feelings he has about being left with it.
Yeah, I feel like you must have a lot of scenes just with this baby. Like,
I spent a lot of time. Yeah, I spent a lot of time with babies, and also like when you film, there's like normally like a couple of babies, and you start to know their personalities. Like that's the good baby, that's the asshole baby.
Really, you're like this. You're like this is gonna go. Yes, you can totally swear on this show, but you're like, okay, I have the good baby today.
Yeah.
Is going to be in this protest scene.
Yeah. And I mean, I really fell in love with some of those kids, man. They were really sweet. But there was one baby in particular that I just kind of wanted to take him home. I mean, his mom objected, but you know, so I had to leave.
Rude, yeah.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
We've got a connection here.
Yeah. Well, speaking of those scenes with some of those babies, I have to say, I should say, spoiler alert to anybody who's watching. Luke was mad as hell when he came face to face with Serena.
Right.
Was he too harsh on her?
Too hard, you mean? No, I don't think so. If anything, the exact opposite. I mean, at the end of the day, like, she is a figurehead in one of the most brutal regimes in the world, and also the woman who literally was part of kidnapping his wife and keeping his child from him. So I think he actually held it down pretty well, all things considered.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting they say, you know, she is, in some ways, she is obviously perpetuating, you know, a really horrific storyline. And we also do see some of the ways that, you know, she is subject to dehumanization and misogyny herself.
Yeah,
and we've had some of your co-stars on the show before, and they said that they weren't expecting the storyline to really align so much with what's happening with women's rights in America right now. Does the timeliness of the storyline ever surprise you?
Yeah, I mean, it's so unfortunate that we still live in a world where we're dealing with such high and unacceptable levels of sexual violence and misogyny and kind of patriarchal influence on society. Unfortunately, I think the further you go back in history, the worse it's been. And so there has been some progress being made, but that's one of the wonderful things about being part of this program is that we get to continue that necessary conversation about what's not working in our society. And,
you know, recently there have been a spate of, you know, anti-abortion bills introduced in the States that people have compared to the way that women's bodies are treated in Gilead. And actually, interestingly, in recent years, anti-abortion activists in England have adopted some of the tactics of U.S. anti-abortion activists. So I'm wondering, like, what was it like to step into our culture around these issues? Like, were you aware of just how polarized these conversations were in the past?
You know, I had some idea, but now, you know, spending more time here, I got more of an idea, and I had no idea that, you know, in England, women have access generally to sexual health. Like that is just not, it's not even up for debate. There is not a major politician that would stand up and say women don't have a right to choose or women shouldn't have access to like basic sexual health access. And the changes that have happened in the last year, I mean, I've said things have got better. That's a clear example of how things have got worse. And yeah, it's really scary. But I think, you know, if we can band together, if we can group together and create a voice and create a political movement, that kind of pushes things back to where they should be, and if not, even further.
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking about all these really heavy themes, and the show, of course, is so emotionally taxing. How do you decompress after doing some of these scenes?
Yeah, well, you know, I play basketball, really is my meditation. But it's not really that hard for me, relative. I mean, there are some hard scenes, to be fair, but I think for the most part, our amazing female cast, the ones that bear the brunt of the most intense scenes, and so they would be the people to ask. For me, you know, I come in, do some man crying, and then go out. It's fine.
just a little bit of man crying.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I actually saw on Instagram you posted a photo where you donned the Handmaid's bonnet.
Right.
Before we have that picture. What do you do with cast members to bring some fun to set? Yeah, it does. It looks like keeps the sun out of your way.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, we just, I guess, joke around a lot. And, you know, Samira and Lizzie, who I have most of my scenes with, they both got a great sense of humor. So, we crack up a lot. Samira's got an amazing singing voice, so I'm always trying to get her to sing, you know, to entertain me.
Interesting. I don't know if I would have envisioned that much singing happening on the Handmaid's Tale set.
I'm sure you saw the dance routine. You see the dance routine? Listen, all sorts. Handmaid's the musical is what I'm pushing for.
I mean, that would be quite an entertaining, interesting. It would have a lot of range. Yeah. Well, one thing that I've also noticed in this season is that, like, Elizabeth Moss's stare is so iconic. Like, she's so good at making eye contact just with the camera. And I suppose that is choreographed on set. Would you like to do a little stare for the camera? Do you think we could get you to do like an iconic Elizabeth Moss stare?
I can't go. Listen, Lizzie has got it nailed down. If I start giving the stares, you're going to see how bad an actor I am next to her. I mean, it's amazing, though, to think that it's like, what is it, 3 seasons, 10 plus 13 plus 13, that's 36 hours almost of television. And her face is still kind of just so captivating.
Yeah.
I don't know how she does it, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, I'm very much riveted by it whenever she does as well. Well, Luke is going through it, as we've talked about. But I have to tell you, like, we mine Twitter a little bit for some of the conversations around Luke. And despite all of the challenges, he has a lot of people who are thirsting after him on Twitter.
Luke thirst.
Yes. So I have to read you some of these tweets. Intme Sarah tweeted, Luke from Handmaid's Tale can, like, get it. Joaquin Mertz tweeted, if you look like Luke Bankole from Handmaid's Tale, call me. And Ebbs and Flows also tweeted, Luke from Handmaid's Tale is the ultimate female gaze boy, and I want hundo buy into this fantasy. How do you feel about this thirst?
Wow, that's a lot. One of these days I can get it. What would I be getting? I don't know if I have clarity over that. Well, you know, it's nice to be liked, I guess. But, you know, I guess that's one of the things that come with it. If hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people see your face, there's always going to be 1 or 2 weirdos who think you look nice. So I'll take it. I like the weirdos.
That's quite kind of you. Are you an active social media user? Do you scroll through these tweets to see what people are talking about on the show, what people are saying about you?
You know what? I try and resist it as much as possible because, because I don't think it can be warping in a way to one's mind and one's idea of what, reality really is. So I am on social media, I'm on Instagram and all those kind of things, but I do try and take good breaks from it because, you just spend your life sucked in and getting all sorts of ideas about stuff, including bad ones. When people say bad stuff about you, it's crushing. And so, I try and...
You try and stay away from that stuff.
As much as I can.
Yeah. Well, I have to ask you, one of the other things that I talked about with some of your co-stars was they said that they themselves have found the show, like, so taxing to watch that they felt like the need to step away. Do you actually, like, watch the show afterwards? Yeah. Do you find is it exhausting to watch?
Yeah, I love watching the show because I love watching all my castmates work and also the work of the people who create it. But I don't binge it. It kind of like, it will come in waves, I'll go visit my mom and she's watching it, so then I'll sit down and watch some episodes with her and in and out. And then obviously sometimes we do screenings, so I get to see more episodes like that. But yeah, it's a bit of a weird experience in a way because I'm so connected to the scripts that we get and to the experience of filming. It feels like the finished product is something separate from those two things.
That's interesting. Well, thank you for taking the time to chat with me. Yeah, and you can watch season 3 of The Handmaid's Tale now on Hulu. Stay tuned for more AM to DM.